Alright, welcome back. This will be part B to part 11. I kind of had to cut the last like 15-20 minutes of the other video. Yes, I know before I said I wanted to try to limit it to like 30 minutes, but this video I kind of had a lot of information to really go over to kind of set up the scene for part 12, because part 12 in itself is going to be probably a 30 to 35 minute video, and I didn't want to add like even more into it, so I'm just going to make a part B to part 11. So that being said, where we last left off, like I said I'm gonna look this up because like I couldn't remember who Katsuki Bakugo faced off, and surprise, surprise, I was like, I wasn't 100% sure on it, but I'm like, I was thinking it was Uraraka, and it happened to actually be Uraraka. So when the placements and stuff happened, Izuku's standing next to Katsuki, and Izuku's like, so, you gotta face off against your girlfriend. You know you can't, like, go all out on her. And Izuku's like, and Katsuki's like, dude, you don't know. The training we did, that girl there is strong. I have to go at least 50% of my power. Have to go at least 25% of my power just to even, like, give a good fight. And at this, Izuku kind of, like, jaw kind of drops a little bit. He's like, dude, what did you do? And he's like, whoa, she's, her quirk kind of evolved a little bit. And Izuku's like, looks at Katsuki and he's like, what did you... Okay, seriously, after this, you're going to need to tell me what happened. And Katsuki's like, oh, okay, I will, bro, but, like, I've got to focus because, like, I'm not going to let her win, but, like, I can't just, like, defeat her in the third state because she's still unsure about her power. Let's just say I saw something like during our spars and everything, and like felt a few things, and like I'm pretty sure her quirk evolved and she hasn't realized it yet. So basically, I'm gonna use this as like a sparring match to kind of bring that power to the forefront. And Katsuki's like, I'm not sure how it's gonna go. So on the off chance, do you think you can? And Izuku's like, seriously, dude, we're gonna you're gonna make me do this again? Like, we already did this at the beginning of the first day of school. Like, how many times do I have to tell you, don't, like, destroy stuff, man? Like, I have money, but geez, dude, come on. Like, chill out. Like, and Katsu's like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, you know it. I know you don't, like, care about your money. And, like, Izuku, like, kind of gets a little mad. And he's like, that's besides the point, Katsuki. Like, if we're gonna, like, start a hero agency, like, we've got to learn how to, like, actually cause minimal damage. Otherwise, like, the business is going to, like, the agency is going to go belly up. Because of paying out for damages to, like, the public area. And some of the students kind of hear this, and they're like, wait, what? Those two want to, like, start their own agency? And Kirishima kind of, like, overheard this too, and so did like, a few other students. And, like, Kirishima is, like, thinking, he's like, whoa, if those two want to, like, start a hero agency after high school, like, I kind of want to go with them. And so, like, Ochako is with Momo and Kendo. And Momo and Kendo are going to be facing off against each other. And so Momo and Kendo are talking to Uraraka, and they're like, so, tough luck, you got to fight your boyfriend in the first round. And, like, Uraraka kind of blushes a minute, and she's like, yeah, but what about you two? Like, you two have to fight each other. And like, so what's in Uraraka is like, so what's up with you two and Izuku-kun? And, like, both of them kind of blush, and it's like, yeah, I thought so. like, who's dating him? And they both kind of say, well, we kind of both are. And Uraraka's like, okay, you do you. But, like, I'm sorry I'm not being rude or anything, but I kind of have to, like, get into the mindset because, like, during training with Katsuki, like, something happened and I'm not really sure, like, how I did it. And they're like, oh, really? Like, what is it? And she's like, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think my quirk's is, like, zero gravity, like, entirely. And they're like, that's cool. And she's like, yeah, well, knowing Katsuki, he's probably, like, not gonna go all out on me, even though, like, I know I probably can't win against him if he did, but he's probably, like, noticed it himself, and he's probably gonna, like, do, like, another sparring session with me and everything, kind of help me out. So, that being said, Katsuki and Uraraka, like, their fight starts off, and, like, Katsuki's not really taking Uraraka seriously, and she kind of, like, yells at him. He's like, are you ever gonna take me serious? Like, you jerk! Why did we even start? And she just gets, like, really angry. And then all of a sudden, like, Midnight kind of feels like herself getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And then Katsuki's, like, starting to feel it too. And he's like, oh, I can't fly anymore. Like, I wouldn't be able to fly under this and everything. And then he just slowly walks up to Uraraka, grabs her and hugs her and kisses her, like, on the forehead in front of everyone. And they're like, what? What's going on? What is he doing? And then Uraraka's, like, kind of tearing up, and, like, Katsuki's like, I'm sorry, like, I was taking you serious. It's just, do you realize, like, what you're doing right now? And Uraraka, like, starts to feel it, because, like, she starts to get weak in the knees. She's like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing, Katsuki? And Katsuki's like, I'm not doing this, you are. Well, in any case, I've got to end this now. And, like, he kind of karate chops her on the back of the neck and knocks her out, and then slowly walks her over to the edge and puts her on the side. And then Knight's like, contestant Uraraka is unable to finish the match. Out. Ring out. Due to a ring out. Winner, Katsuki Bakugo. And everyone's like, dude, that guy's, like, pretty mean. Like, he did that to a girl and everything. And because, like, everyone but, like, Izuku, Momo, and Kendo are kind of, like, looking at this. They're thinking that Katsuki's kind of a jerk because of how he treated Uraraka. But Izuku knows, like, Katsuki wasn't being a dick because, like, he saw something in Uraraka and he wanted to, like, bring it out of her. And he wasn't sure if she, like, knew she was doing it intentionally. Because at the end of the day, both Katsuki and Izuku do want their friends to improve and constantly are trying to help people improve themselves and become better people. Like, Katsuki is constantly pushing Izuku to, like, come out of his shell and talk to people and to, like, stop being such, like, a loner. And at the same time, Izuku is constantly telling Katsuki to be careful and to, like, stop destroying stuff because Katsuki doesn't intentionally do it, but he's not really mindful of his surroundings that much. So Izuku's constantly, like, helping him about being more, not being such an airhead when it comes to, like, his surroundings when he's fighting. So, that being said, afterwards, Uraraka wakes up in the nurse's office, and Katsuki's sitting there holding her hand and everything, and she's like, she pulls her hand away from him and everything, and Katsuki's like, starts apologizing, and it's like, look, I was taking you seriously, it's just, I wasn't sure if you understood, like, what you had done during, like, our training, like, what you had unlocked and everything. And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, and he's like, well, I kind of, like, noticed that you weren't just like making stuff weightless, but you were actually increasing like the gravity. And Uraraka is like, wait, so like you did notice that? Like I thought it was like I thought that was you. And Katsu's like, no, that was like entirely you. Like I think your quirk through like the training and stuff that you've been doing with me like over the past month and stuff, like your quirk has kind of like evolved a little bit into like not only like you have like complete gravity control probably over objects. And Raka is kind of weirded out by this and like starts freaking out, and she's like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like I can't control it. And Katsu's like, don't worry about it. Like I'll help you out. Like I'll always help you out. And like he basically like gives her a kiss to like calm her down, and like she kind of like calms down and like wraps her hands around his head and like kisses him back. And she's like, I'm sorry for blowing up on you. And Katsu's like, fine. He's like, it's okay, and I'm sorry if I made it feel like I wasn't taking you serious. And he kind of chuckles a little bit, and he's like, I guess me and Izuku had that. That's another thing me and Izuku have in common, I guess. And so now we cut to a conversation before the match with Momo and Kendo, and like they're saying, I'm not gonna go easy on you, says Kendo, and Momo says, I'm not gonna go easy on you either. How about this? The winner of this match can go after the double date can be the first one to go on a solo date with Izuku. And like they agree to this, and like because they know like they probably won't win, but they're going to try their damnedest to like win like the whole thing. So their fight begins, and at first they're not really using their quirks and stuff, because like they realize that because they're good friends and they've been training for like really heavily with each other for like the past month, and more so the past week, because like they became really good friends in this past week, because like they realize that they've got to get along in order to like to put Izuku at ease, because he's still kind of iffy about the whole situation. And so like they're going at it like using the martial arts, and President Mike's like, so these two young ladies made it to the finals. They are also in class 1A. Well, you have Momo Yayarazu, who scored top of her class and who's a recommendation student. Then you have I can't pronounce her first name. Like I always messed up, so I'm just gonna keep calling her Kendo. We have Miss Young Kendo, who got in by sheer determination. And these two ladies are going at it. They both have martial arts backgrounds. One has then they don't have particularly combat-oriented quirks, but they more than make up with that with their tenacity in hand-to-hand combat. And at this point, Momo's like is back, and like she pulls like a bow staff out of her chest. Within a few seconds, and she's like, okay, so I guess we're taking it up a notch. And so Kendo, like she unbeknownst to like Momo and like everyone else, she's actually been working on her quirk like a little bit, like doing partial enlargements and stuff like that. So basically, like she gets in close to Momo and does like an instant enlargement of her finger, basically like pushing Momo back, and then like you just see Kendo stand up it de-enlarged like her hand and her hands and everything, and just bows to Momo, and Momo's just standing there like, what is she gonna do now? And then Midnight's like, winner! It's good, Kendo! By ring out! And then Momo looks down and her foot's behind is out of the ring, and she like falls to her knees. She's like, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. And then Kendo walks up to her and offers his arm. She stands up and she's like, and Kendo's like, no hard feelings. And Momo's like, no hard feelings. Like, we agreed to it. And she's like, so, I guess you get to go on a solo date with Izuku first. And like, they kind of are laughing afterwards. And President Mike's like, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is what true sportsmanship looks like, as expected from two martial artists. As like the crowd just sees Kendo and Momo like kind of like hugging and everything, and Momo like raises Kendo's arm and everything, and then afterwards like bows to her and everything, and like they leave the ring, and like this just sends the crowd like crazy. Because, like, you don't really see that too much, like, in these tournaments too much, where, like, people just show, like, old school martial arts, like, match respects and stuff like that. You don't see that too often. And Izuku's kind of looking at this. He's like, oh, crud, what did they agree to? I feel like I'm going to get into something. And so, like, the rest of the matches go the same. And in part 12, basically, the match between Kirishima and Tetsu doesn't go like it does in canon. It somewhat does, but then after a while, Kirishima, like, he's like, Tetsu, like, I think I've had enough of this. And, like, he just, like, walks up to Tetsu, picks him up, and throws him out of the ring. Surprising everyone. They're like, wait, we thought young Kirishima had a hardening quirk, but apparently he has some kind of super strength quirk as well. And Aizawa's like, that's actually not the case. His quirk is hardening, but this young man for the past year and a half has been like doing some serious weight training. He's basically gotten up to wearing 600, like over 400 kg, like on his body at all times. And everyone's like, what? He was wearing weights? And like, President Mike's like, what? He's been wearing weights this entire time? And President Mike's like, no, like, I saw him like in public last week, and he was wearing normal clothes and everything. And he explained. And he said that one of his friends told him that he's kind of been overdoing it and that he needs to just work on his quirk now, like he has plenty of strength. And everyone's like, whoa, this kid, and then President Mike's like, wow, this year's first years are truly going to become amazing heroes. And with that, we're going to end part 11B. And I'm sorry, like, that part 11 kind of, like, I had to, like, cut the end of the first part off. But I figured instead of, like, re-recording the entire thing, I would just do, like, a part B to part 11. So, again, thank you for the 40 subs. And thanks for all the likes. So, please comment, subscribe, and like the video if you haven't already done it. And I'll see you in part 12. And because we hit 40 subs, I'm going to work on part 12 right now. And this is basically going to go over the last few rounds. Not much is going to change. Like, really, the only thing that's really going to change in these last couple of fights is Todoroki isn't going to be going up against Izuku. Izuku's going to be going up against Kendo, and Todoroki is going to be going up against Bakugo in the semifinals. Because everything happens, and we'll just say, like, by sheer accident, Kendo won against, I like, won against, Ida. Like, she just, like, she got embarrassed because something Ida, like, asked her, and, like, she just, like, unintentionally, like, enlarged her hand and kind of, like, bitch slapped Ida, like, unintentionally, like, knocking him out of the ring in a comical way. So with that, we'll get into part 12, and I should upload this within, like, an hour or two. So, see you then.